Welcome to Three's Global Wellness Wednesday. I'm super excited to host this event where you can expect some great knowledge from an interactive health and nutrition board certified health and wellness coach and a bunch of testimonials from real people with real results. I am your host, Kassy Havel. I have been a nurse for 25 years. I spent about 21 years in modern medicine, bedside nursing, until I fell in love with proactive wellness. And I'm super excited to share with you what I found after my husband had his own health crisis. As a nurse, working in traditional healthcare, when my husband in our mid-30s got up one day and he seemed like he was a completely happy person, normal, up moving around. I went to work. When I came home, my husband was a totally different person. He was unable to control his eye movements. His blood pressure was 210 over 120, and then it would drop down to 90 over 60. His heart rate would go from like 150 down to like 60. When we got to the hospital, I really was concerned that I may not walk home with my husband. And the physicians felt the same way. We found out that he had an autoimmune condition where he ate some bad chicken, and instead of his body attacking that bad chicken, it decided it would attack his nervous system. We spent a lengthy time in the ICU. We spent a lengthy time in the hospital, then about 8 to 10 months in PT, OT, and modern medicine told me I should be grateful that my husband was alive. And he could function. He could do his barber activities because that's what he was. He was a barber. But cognitively, it just never came back. I searched for 8 years looking for an alternative to modern healthcare for a solution because I just couldn't accept that this was going to be my life, that the love of my life was going to just sometimes be there and sometimes not. And what I found was that, in all honesty, all disease processes stem from 4 things: malnutrition, toxicity, oxidation, and inflammation. And once I found that out, I was hard pressed to find a company or a solution that could counteract those things. And I found 3. And I'm super excited that you guys are here to experience what these products could do for you and your family, because for me, it changed everything. It changed absolutely everything. Within 2 weeks of my husband being on some of these products, his cognition came back. And I will forever be grateful for what 3 has done for me and what it has done for my family. I am a mom of 4. My kids are now adults. I am a grandma of the sweetest 2-year-old you'll ever meet. And I'm about to be a 2-time grandma in about 4 weeks. I want you to also know that what 3 doesn't do is it doesn't treat, cure, or diagnose any disease process. But what it does do is help feed your body what it needs to do the job that it needs to do. And your body is amazing. Now I want to introduce you to a really good friend of mine, Marisa Mangiameli. She is an interactive health and nutrition board certified health and wellness coach. Okay, I'm just gonna say this because you're all thinking it. What does that mean, Marisa? What does that mean?
Kassy, thank you so much for having me on tonight. And your story is just incredibly compelling. Kassy and I shared a little bit of our own histories tonight, and her and her husband and I had shared some similarities and some things we struggled with our health. And so it was really interesting to catch up on that. A little bit about me. So I'll share a little bit about what that means. People ask me that all the time, and to be honest, I don't always know how to answer it because I feel like I wear many hats to many people in many different ways in holistic health. But a little about my background. I've actually been an equestrian for my entire life and had an equestrian business for over 20 years. I've been in the integrative health space for probably around 8 to 9 years, and that came very authentically, very on the side because of my own health journey. I had an autoimmune health journey where I really, really looked to also alternative modalities and shifted my lifestyle and my diet. And what's funny is I shared this with Kassy. I was actually very anti-supplement. Like it was overwhelming for me. There's so many things out there. They don't absorb. I just thought, you know what, I'm having success with my diet, and that worked for me. And it was great. And it brought people into my life. And that's how my coaching business kind of started. But it was really in 2019 when my daughter was sick and she was only 15 months old, that forced me to look outside of my own box and get a little uncomfortable with life in general. I shifted gears in my business and went back to school to do integrative health and integrative nutrition. Went back to school again to be able to sit for my board exam and get board certified, and had to look to supplements because other things were not working for our daughter. So it really flipped my whole world, and it was such an incredible blessing. It's been a blessing. Now I've been able to pay forward to a lot of people, and that's been an incredible experience for me. So what an integrative health coach, a nutrition coach, board certified coach looks like is really partnering with people to live in their authentic selves, to live a higher quality of life. A lot of us are lost in the shuffle with ourselves. We're disconnected. Sometimes we feel like our bodies are failing us. Sometimes we feel like our minds are failing us. That's where I come in. I come in and partner alongside you and really just help you find the tools that you already have. Because similar to what Kassy shared about our bodies are miracles, and so are we. We have all the things necessary to thrive. And it's just finding the right tools that work for us and feeding our body the right things to allow it to perform optimally. I mean, that's what it comes down to, really. And here at 3, like, we have both the community and the products that allow for all of those things to come together in a really beautiful way. And so that's why 3 for me, honestly, it's been very compelling. I've been able to support a lot of people in my coaching practice with some of our products. It's great for bridging the gap. You know, I used to be a very type A personality and very, very rigid in my thinking. This industry and this company has really expanded that for me and opened my mind in a lot of ways. And because of it, I'm able to meet people where they're at better. And I feel like our products give people that opportunity as well, because sometimes people don't want to work out because it hurts, right? They hurt somewhere, or they haven't done it in a while. And so that first day they get so sore, they can't walk down the stairs, they can't sit on the toilet, they don't want to do it again. And so it, like, you know, they don't go back. And then they have this fear of restarting. And like our Revive is great for bridging that gap, for helping reduce inflammation and soreness and so many things. Our vitality is just something everybody really should have. I always share with people that there are 195 countries in the world. And out of that 195 countries, 152 are developing countries. And I know this is a global Zoom, but I live in the US. And so this statistic to me is a little bit insane. So that means that there's 43 first world countries, right? For a lack of a better description, developed countries, countries that are financially, economically, supposedly health-wise thriving. And of those 43, the US is ranked 35th for health, overall health and quality of health. And it is 46th. We're like lower than some third world countries in longevity. And so for me, I'm like, okay, those statistics make it very clear that no matter what we're doing with our health and wellness, we need more support, right? And so for me, like, that's our products. I think they fill the gap in so many ways. And Vitality is one of those ones that really does that for people's diets, in my opinion. So I answered like way more than I think you asked for, but I get
No, I
super
totally
pumped
get it.
about
So
this.
would that mean Vitalite is your favorite 3 product? Do you
Oh
have
my
a
God,
favorite?
I can't pick a favorite. I can't pick a favorite. It's one of my favorites. I mean, the Revive, I think, is, if I had to pick a favorite, it's probably my favorite. And that's because I very much so love to serve people. And for
Mhm.
me, that product has been so impactful for so many people, in a life-changing way. So that's probably my favorite. Vitality is a non-negotiable for me, and I wish I could get everybody to take it because it just gives you the nutrients. I mean, it's loaded with so many things, like all your vitamins, 72 trace minerals, amino acids, digestive care blend, probiotics, prebiotics. I mean, superfoods, superfruits. It's like all your greens. It's all your rainbow in like a daily packet. And the omegas, it's like you literally can't eat that in a day. Like what's in that packet, like the only person eating that is David Wolf. And if anybody is like an integrative health guru, you know who David Wolf is. He's like the raw food guru, and he has a whole team of people that follow him and make him his food and smoothies and raw foods. So he's the only person on the planet probably getting that packet in food a day.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm obviously, my background is not integrative health. It is more on the healthcare, modern medicine spectrum. And I'm
Mhm.
sure you speak to people that are in modern medicine or, function more health-wise in the modern medicine realm, where it's about prescriptions and things like that. So how do you take their perspective of, supplements don't work? What do you tell them about 3 that makes 3 different than everything else that's out there?
I share with them, I feel you. Like I was you. I was there. And then I usually share some personal stories, and I work with a lot of physicians. So one of the things that has been great about me getting my board certification is I get to work in the healthcare space actually. So while my personal mindset is probably more holistic, integrative, I do get to bridge the gap there for Western medicine, and I get to help clients stay compliant. So like I'm the person, everybody wants their doctor to spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour with them. That is not healthcare in our country, in the United States anymore. It's just not. You lucky if you get 10 minutes with your physician. And sometimes they'll be like, okay, you have this going on, change your diet, get more sleep, reduce your stress. But then there's no support, right? And so I'm that person that steps in and can provide the support and the guidance and help people stay sustainable with those things and have an idea of what to do. So I shared that with them, and I shared that, what do you have to lose by trying? Because if it can give relief to whatever the issue is you're trying to solve, and bridge the gap enough that you can make those lifestyle changes, it's like a total win. And if it doesn't work for you, you didn't lose anything. So to me, it's easy to communicate. It's been really interesting that I've had some clients that were working with me directly, and then their physicians actually came on board because of the results they were having, and they were asking, what are we doing here? We want to know more. And so I shared that too. And the fact that our products are in the PDR, which is the prescriber's digital reference, it makes it so simple to integrate with your healthcare professionals, because it means they can literally pull it up, they can add it to your chart, they can reference it, they can leverage the products if they want to be able to support a client on their journey if that's their choice. So all of our products are in the PDR. And so for me, being in that intermediate space, it makes it really amazing and awesome.
Yeah, I love that too. I mean, it's very rare for supplements to be in the physician's desk reference. I mean, predominantly it is pharmaceuticals that are in there. I love that our products are backed by lab analysis, clinical studies. I love that, what sets us apart from other things is the absorption technology. So getting down to the cellular level. can you expand on a little bit of those absorption studies and, what that actually means for the person? I mean, obviously, I know that it transitions to people having a lot of negative symptoms and then them having more health transformations. But could you expand on that just a little bit?
I would love to. So as Kassy mentioned, our ingredients are research backed, and I'm gonna expand on that a little bit. This is something I share with a lot of people because it is really important, especially when you're doing your due diligence. Every ingredient in every product that we have is research backed in a clinical peer reviewed published way. Like you can pull up PubMed, NIH articles on every ingredient that we use. And we don't use any fillers, we don't use any artificials, we source from whole foods. It's really truly incredible. So there's the research backing the ingredients. And what I love is that we take it a step further. So if you look at some of that research, for example, curcumin, and again, like this is just for conversation's sake, Kassy already mentioned we're not here to diagnose, treat, cure anything. But you can pull the research on this. So for me, I was doing a lot of research on inflammatory bowel disease, and there's tons of articles with curcumin and how it really is very powerful for inflammation. It's been very successful in clinical trials for modulating inflammation, for really touching on all kinds of factors that we also use medications for. So it's already been clinically proven, curcumin has, to be as effective as some pharmaceuticals. Now, what's incredible about our company is that we've taken curcumin, we've blended it with other molecules from other whole food sourced things like ginger, acai, shiitake, black cumin oil. We blend these things together that work symbiotically. So together they boost the efficacy. Together they're all research backed to reduce and to modulate inflammation in the body, to create a healthy inflammatory response. There's the research on all of them. And then we go a step further and we use 10 different types of advanced delivery technologies to ensure that we are absorbing the ingredients. And so going back to the studies, those studies are, most of them, and there's over 20 years of research on curcumin. So go out there and check it out. It's amazing. But the studies that are out there are not on liposomal curcumin. They're not on enzyme delivery. They're not on these blends, these nutraceutical blends where we use to boost the efficacy of the molecules. They're just on curcumin, which only has a 10% absorption rate. And so for us to be able to come in and boost that absorption rate up at the cellular level means that people go, oh my God, why is this so different than the curcumin I've been taking? It increases the efficacy. And it's one of the reasons why we have so many powerful testimonials. And we do that with all of our products. And Dr. Dan's been amazing. He really has leveraged so many deliveries specifically to the molecules because some are too big to become liposomal, right? Like collagen, for example. It's too big of a molecule to fit into a liposome. So we micronize and hydrolyze it. And I don't want to misspeak, but I'm pretty sure in this moment, we're actually the only company to have hydrolyzed micronized collagen. So it just means that it makes the molecule small, so that the body can absorb it. And then he partners it with all these beautiful other ingredients that also support elasticity, support the joints, support the skin, and support the boost in collagen and the body's own natural production of it. So we put all of these amazing things together. Dr. Dan does, I don't, but I love it and I'm a nerd about it. So so that the body can absorb it. And so people are like, their skin looks amazing, their body feels better, they have more energy, their joints feel better, the inflammation is reduced. I mean, for me, it gave me my knees back. I had like bone on bone. I'm 44 years old in my right knee. I had the autoimmune history. So I had this history of inflammation, chronic inflammation in the body I didn't know about for many years. Was an equestrian. So I was hard on my body, was an athlete my whole life. Again, my knees were just kaput. Honestly, the Revive and the collagen like gave me physical activity back. I was able to go down the stairs again, and now I'm able to actually run and work out again. So I'm a product of the product, and I will share it with whoever will listen to me.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I appreciate all that you've said, and I know that people were taking notes rapidly. I do want to continue on with this health testimonials that we have. I'm going to bring a really good friend of mine, Mindy Hungerford. She has some amazing testimonies that I think everybody is going to want to hear about. Hey, Mindy.
My friend. Thank you so much for having me on today. So let's get right into it.
Yeah, tell me why you stand behind the 3 products. What exactly has 3 done for you and your family?
So my friend gives me a couple of packets of, she gives me the Vitalite and she gave me Revive. And she says, listen, girl, if it doesn't work, like just give it back to me. No harm, no foul. 4 days later, my husband says to me, he hands me his black card and he says, I don't know what that magic juju that you're taking, but I want you to buy all of it. And I don't know if any of y'all are married, but my husband in 17 years has never said, go and buy all of it. Here, take all my money. That has never happened. So after I got up off the floor from fainting, I called my girlfriend and I said, hey, girl, you are not going to believe this. He wants me to buy one of everything because my husband said, honey, you have not complained. He said, you have not grown getting out of bed. You haven't, like in the morning, with inflammation, I used to joke, like, I don't know if you guys ever had brothers that would rip the heads off your Barbie and stick them back on and the head was never right again. That's how I felt since I got sick, just this little bobblehead sitting around. And my husband was like, buy it all, buy 2 of each, because we're going to tell everybody. Fast forward a little bit in my story. I'm taking these supplements. I'm feeling great. We had been trying to adopt for 6 years. And on 9/11 of 2020, we adopted our beautiful, can you see her?
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
She's gorgeous.
Thank you. That is my Magnolia. Her name is Magnolia. And unfortunately, her mama is a homeless woman in our area and she's an addict. And our daughter was born with every drug in the world and, under the sun. And it really affected her. And she did not baby babble. She barely smiled. She didn't, we're coming up on 2 years and she's not pointing. She's not laughing. She's not engaging. I couldn't read a book with her. She wouldn't watch TV. There was just nothing. She was just this little shell of a child. And it's horrible because people would say, oh, she's so well behaved. I haven't heard a peep out of her. And I'm like, no, she's sick. She's sick. And our pediatrician's homeopathic. She's amazing. Dr. Franz in Orlando. And she said, Mindy, this is what it is. And we're going to do what we can on our end. But really, I would dig into holistic health. I would dig into feeding her the right things. I would dig. And, I grew up way below the poverty line. So to me, I'm like, look, a Happy Meal comes with apples. That's super healthy. I really didn't have a compass of what was good food. My husband likes to joke that when we got married, the only vegetable I ate was popcorn. I would say well, popcorn's a vegetable. It's corn. And he's like, oh, who are you? And I'm like, look, it's salsa. That's healthy. So we get on board, and I had read online that children who were nonverbal, I believe it was 89% of children who are nonverbal have high levels of metal in their body. So I take a Purify and I break it in half and I pour half of it in some juice. And then I think to myself, this is for children 4 and up. And this is she's not even 2. And then I was like, man, she had all them drugs in her body. She can take this GMO, non-GMO, organic, healthy, natural, no casein, no fillers. She can handle it. She's a tough cookie. I put it in a little bit of juice and I give it to her. I do the same thing the next morning. And within 48 hours, my daughter was saying 9 words and dancing and laughing and clapping. And it changed the entire trajectory of her life. Because when you adopt a special needs child, you have hard conversations. Like, okay, when we die, what happens to her? What does that look like? Is she ever going to live on her own? Are we ever going to be empty nesters? Is she ever going to get married? Is she ever going to have children? Is she ever going to drive a car, have a job? And she will. She will. She will now, because her body was able to rid itself of what it didn't need. And now I'm able to fill her body with the best. I mean, just like what, I'm sorry, I don't want to say your name wrong. Marisa. What Marisa was saying, this is like the micronutrients and all the good. I mean, you can't get that anywhere. You get it with 3. And it's changed. I mean, let me tell you something. This company could burn me to the ground and I'd still buy their stuff. I don't even care. Like, I don't even care. Y'all couldn't tell me that y'all could be like, look, this company, they blew up an orphanage. I'd be like, well, I don't know what to tell y'all. I'm going to need my Purify, my Vitality though. I'm just going to need it. I'm just going to need it, y'all, because I'm not going back. I'm not going back to being riddled with inflammation. I'm not going back to not being able to hold my daughter at the beach. I'm not going back. And it's just been, earlier, whenever you were like, what makes you want to share this? I'm like, you can't stop me from sharing it. You can't, there ain't no way.
Girl, I totally hear you. I hear you, Mindy, because, that's the thing. I mean, we all take our health for granted until it's not there. And, I am so appreciative for 3 and what it's done for you and your family. These are the testimonies that I love and appreciate. And it's why I will never stop sharing what 3 can do for you. Right. And thank you so much for being so vulnerable and open with us, because it really hit my heart. I know it made Marisa tear up, and thank you so much, Mindy. I'm going to bring Elaine on, though. Elaine Catuara. She's another friend of mine who has had some life-changing experiences with some of the products of 3. Elaine, what is it about 3 that makes you want to share with people?
Hey, Kassy, thank you so much for having me. I just love working with you, and you have just such a heart for people. I just love it. It just works with me. The 3 products, I have 3 favorite products, as a matter of fact. Vitality is my very favorite, and there are so many reasons for it. My husband and I have been taking it for a while now, and to tell you the truth, I started like millions of years ago taking regular vitamins because I thought that's what I'm supposed to do. I never knew if I felt any different. I just knew that that's what I was supposed to do. I didn't eat properly always, but I always tried. So when I started with Vitality, right after lunch, the little dip that you get, I started taking it after lunch. And I'm just like the ever ready bunny. Honestly, just keep on zooming right along. It doesn't slow me down at all anymore. So that's my very favorite part of it. And the other favorite part of Vitality is to know that when I don't eat properly, I don't have everything that I'm supposed to have during the day, get lazy, or just don't have time to eat, those gaps are filled with Vitality. So I just feel so much healthier. My husband, when he sees that it's getting a little low in the drawer, he says, honey, do we have some more coming in? I'm like, absolutely. It's right around the corner. It's coming right in the mail next week. So our family just doesn't live without it. My second favorite would have to be Revive, because I have psoriatic arthritis. And about 7 years ago, I wasn't able to walk up and down the stairs. My joints were just so painful. Now, actually recently, just like a few weeks ago, I started having numbness in my leg. And as it turns out, I have a bulging disc, and my psoas was super, super tight. So all this inflammation, the doctor called me right away after my EMG and said, oh, I've called in a prescription for steroids for you. And I'm like, I called Walgreens. I said, well, you can put that right back on the shelf because I'm not taking it. And I called her and I said, I am not taking it, just not taking it. And she goes, but you really need to do that. It's going to reduce the inflammation. And so I have something else I'm taking and it seems to be helping me. She's like, well, I don't know what that is. And I can't guarantee that that's anything you should be, and I told her it was in the PDR. She just really just like didn't listen to a word. And I just kept taking it. I actually took double doses for about 3 days, and the inflammation was so much better. Instead of the steroid that you wanted me to take, I said, how about some physical therapy? So I'm doing that. And honestly, they called me from the health, my park district yesterday and said, you know, that pickleball class you wanted to take, there's an opening tonight. It starts tonight. And I'm like, oh gosh, am I going to be okay? Well, let me tell you, I was okay. So I went last night. I'm still doing my physical therapy. I'm 60 years old and I'm not going to slow down. It's not going to do that to me. So yes, I'm really excited. Super, super happy. So Revive and Vitalite are right up here. I'm with Marisa. I'm up there with that. I love them both. And I have to say that collagen is my third favorite. Not only does it help with the fine lines and all the other things, the hair and the nails, my nails aren't peeling anymore, but it helps with the joints too. And I know that. So I have a couple of friends who not only take it just for the beautifying outside, but for inside. And I just love it. And I've seen so many people go from like a dull complexion to just be glowing. And you can't say enough about that. I mean, just gorgeous people walking around because they're taking their collagen. So those are my three favorites, and that's all I have. So
yeah, well, I mean, I always really love to look good on the outside, but I love it even more that it started from the inside. And it just shows the world how good you feel by what you look like.
Exactly.
Elaine, I totally get it. I mean, we have tons of physicians that don't quite grasp what 3 has to offer, but it's really not their fault. They only know what they know.
I know.
And in healthcare, I mean, I was a nurse for 25 years. I went through a lot of training to become a nurse, and I had continuing education every year, and I absolutely knew nothing about nutrition, nothing. So it's not their fault. And I think they've tried other supplements or told people to take other supplements, and then they didn't experience any change. And so I totally get that. But I appreciate you so much, Elaine. Well, our final guest is Chris, who happens to be Marisa's husband. And I love the fact that he was so excited to come on, and she didn't all tell him he had to and gave him no choice. I promise you, he came on with his own free will. He was super excited about it. He never once tried to get out of it. But Chris, welcome to this global Zoom. And I'm super excited for you to share, what exactly made you so excited to share 3 with other people, because there's a lot of husbands on here that are like, yeah, my wife's going to do her thing. But what made you decide, hey, wait, I want to share with people?
Yes, thanks for having me on, Kassy. So I would say maybe for about 10 to 15 years, I've been in the fitness world and working with people. And I've also coached kids in a variety of sports and also in a gym setting. Then even today, majority of what I do is kind of youth fitness. And I also work as a phys ed teacher at our daughter's preschool. So I kind of always had that going on. And Marisa, kind of always thought that us teaming up for things would be a great plan. But I was always one to kind of say no to getting involved in outside companies. I just kind of wanted to do my own thing. And that was that. Partly because, there's time, there's energy, and then there's, a commitment to a product. And I didn't put in the time to really try to understand the product. Our daughter, when she was around 1 year old, she got sick. And we started to explore some different options. And one option that we found was curcumin. And it was able to help her inflammatory bowel disease kind of get under control. Since that point, she's been okay now. So with that being said, we started finding alternative routes for things, right? And starting to think outside the box a little bit. So as Marisa got involved with 3, I started looking into things, and not necessarily it wasn't my goal to poke holes, but you're trying to find things. I'm kind of a skeptic by nature, and I'm just kind of slow to commit to just about anything. And I think Marisa will probably attest to that. But so, we checked all the boxes, right? We have the whole food source, the organic stuff, the high absorption rate, the PDR, and you combine that stuff with what was going on with our daughter, and just using different products, similar ingredients that we used previously is what 3 is offering now. And we think that, it would almost be a disservice if you didn't take some of these things, or at least give it a try, because I think the worst thing you could do is just stop trying. And always trying to find, I found something recently that was like pain is a request for change, right? So if pain is going on in your world, whether it's like emotional or physical, you always want to try to explore the best possible remedy. And I think 3 offers some good possible remedies. Recently I had kind of a shoulder issue, and I know about the anti-inflammatory effects that the Revive has. And I think my whole main goal, I live a pretty physical lifestyle. I have a gym, I work out, we have a farm. I just want to be useful. I want to be able to play with my daughter. We have a big Great Dane puppy. I want to be able to like play with her. And when my shoulder's not great, you feel like you have to hold back a little bit. And, if somebody needed help somewhere, I want to be able to run and not worry about my knee or my ankle, or to be able to climb something. Like, I just kind of want to be useful if an opportunity ever presented itself to physically be able to help. I want to make sure that I'm physically able to do that. So, I don't want to be in pain. I don't want to be sore. I don't want to, be slow moving, I guess. So that's how I kind of got into I kind of went in a couple different directions there. But one, the ingredients are great. I found nothing, that would be a red flag in terms of ingredients, what's in the actual product. The stuff is in the PDR. It's been third-party tested. I use the products. I primarily do take the Revive. I'll take the Immune. I'll take the multivitamin pack. And, but for the most part, I think it does support the lifestyle that I want to live. And there's really I don't think there's a downside at all to kind of getting involved with the company and then spreading that word. So, we're hosting some events. We're trying to get, some of this stuff in front of the families that I work with in my business. It's primarily kids now, but, just kind of sharing with the parents and all that stuff. And Marisa and I want to kind of create somewhat of a healthy community. And we have a nice farm out here where people get to come out and exercise, and it's a pretty peaceful place. So we're trying to host some events to try to introduce the products to them, and trying to just help the healthy living lifestyle expand. Plus, I want to be like Elaine when I'm 60 years old, being able to play pickleball also. All right. Like,
No
that's
joke.
the goal. I want to be able to do stuff like that forever. So that's that.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get it. I love this global platform where everybody's searching for the same thing, to just live a longer, healthier, more quality of life. I absolutely love that's all of our vision and mission. And I love all these testimonies. Before we sign off, Marisa, do you have anything to add? Because we heard some amazing stories here, some amazing health transformations. Do you have anything that you'd like to add before we sign off?
We did. And I would love to touch on a few. And I have been brought to so many happy tears, sad tears and happy tears tonight. And that is, I feel like that's literally what we have. I mean, you just heard so many transformations, but I do want to touch on a few things. Compliance is probably like, who let these people have a microphone? But these are real life testimonials, guys. As sharing again, we aren't here to treat, diagnose, or cure anything, but these are real life testimonials, and these are people's stories, and it's a blessing to be able to share them and pay them forward. And I will touch on Mindy's story with her daughter. There was a recent study done with the umbilical cords of newborns. They drew the blood from umbilical cords of newborns to test for toxins. And I don't remember how many hundreds or thousands of newborns were tested, but they found 287 toxins on average in those newborns' blood from the like just born, have not been to the outside world yet. Like, that blood is from inside mama. And so her daughter came into this world heavily loaded, right? And so I do want to share back to the research in the ingredients. Like, there are ingredients in our Purify that have been shown in clinical research to bind and remove heavy metals. That's one of the things that product is amazing for. And as well as supporting all of the filtering organs. So your liver, your colon, your kidneys, your lungs, your skin. And so I think it's incredible that, we rolled the dice too. We did it with our physician's permission. We brought Revive to our physician and said, this is what we want to try. And she said, this looks fantastic, actually. So we rolled the dice too. And I think it's amazing that supported her daughter that way. And I mean, God bless her whole family. What an incredible testimonial. And, you know, I think I talk to a lot of like psoriatic arthritis, autoimmune, you know, all of those things are inflammatory. Like 95 to 97% of all chronic illness is lifestyle, environmental related, and that is related to inflammation. And so we do have some products that are just really good for supporting a natural inflammatory response. And so when our bodies are really hot, if you have something that can cool it down, then that's incredible, because then it allows your body to heal. Like that's where your body gets to do its own natural juju. When you can cool it and allow it to heal on its own, it's a healing miracle. I mean, it is like a detoxing healing machine on its own. It wants to do those things. And I think that, like, as you can hear from these testimonials, a lot of our products give people the ability to get back in that balanced state so that their bodies can do what they're meant to do. And I'm so proud of Chris. I hope he's not mad at me for saying that. I was dying. When you announced him, because he did try to back out, and this is so out of his comfort zone. And a few years ago, this was out of my comfort zone. I mean, I have our company and our teams and our organization and our community to really be thankful for the self-development that's offered me. But I loved hearing him share his own personal viewpoint on our story. It's actually my first time hearing it. So that was incredible. And I did bear witness to his shoulder, which was pretty funny, because he's really neurotic about his body parts. And it's true. He like wants to live like the Bionic Man forever. And he's very fit and active. And I know he always will be. So I did witness the Revive really, really help him, because he was like, this is how he was turning. You know, he couldn't turn his neck, he couldn't move his shoulders, his arms. So yeah, but it was great to hear all those testimonials, like how powerful and it's just such a blessing what we have here. It really is.
Yeah, I agree. And those of you that have joined us, thank you so much. I want you to get back with whoever invited you here, because these products can actually provide you with your own health transformation. And we appreciate your time. And I'm going to give you back the rest of your Wednesday. Bye, everybody.
Good night, everybody.